Hello, welcome to today's embodied cooking class. I am very excited to be making something a little different with you all today. I never made this recipe before. This is a ottolenghi recipe for chicken koftas with coffee sort of chili rub. So we're going to be going on a little adventure today. And I really wanted to do this with you all because this is a common experience, right? We have to make something for the first time quite often. And what I demonstrate here is usually something that I've made before or I have a sense of. And that allows me to kind of have a certain confidence that I know exactly what I'm doing. And I wanted to share with you what it's really like for me to sort of continue with this embodied practice while not knowing really what it's going to be like a little bit, how I sort of manage that process, manage my own expectations, and still focus on the now and not the end result. Don't worry too much about it, what that looks like, or what it could look like. So let's go on a little adventure today. And because this is a totally new recipe to me, I also want to bring back, this is from my book, Good Enough, this little checklist that I really recommend that everyone use. I mean, we do it in the embodied classes every day, but there are 5 steps to calm cooking, to feeling good while you cook. And the first is to take 5 deep breaths. We'll do our breath practice after this. Then read the recipe through, taking note of timing. That one's important. I have done that already. I've done that a couple times. That's why I have in this book and in most of my recipes a TLDR, too long didn't read, just with a general explanation of what the steps are really, really quick, so that if you can't quite bring yourself to read through the recipe, you at least have a sense of it. It just calms the nervous system and just gives us a little bit more space. Then you want to check to make sure you have all the ingredients or are prepared to skip or make substitutions. So you know, okay, I don't have that, but that's fine. For me, I was missing an onion. So I'm going to use these little red onions. And I'm also missing mint, which I'm a little devastated by, but I'll just use a little bit more parsley. I also don't have the right chilies, so I'm just going to use some regular chilies. I'm going to figure all of these things out. I'm not worried about it. Then chop, defrost, or otherwise prep your ingredients. I've just got them out. I haven't prepped everything, so we can all do it together. And then set your intention to focus on each step in turn. Give your energy to the process in the moment. The outcome is in the future, and you can enjoy this time even if the outcome is not perfect. That's what we do every single time, right? So I love that. Like, print it, put it on your fridge. This is how we do it. So let's bring our hands to heart center, set our intention. And today we're going to keep it very simple. We're going to do Samavriti, the equal breath, 5 deep breaths. Count up to 5 or whatever is your comfortable number. Up to 5 on the inhale, pause, exhale, make the number the same, 5 or whatever works best for you. Okay, let's begin. Inhale. Pause and exhale. Inhale again. Pause, exhale. And I'll let you do the next 3 on your own. As you breathe, you may notice that each inhale, exhale is becoming a little longer. And you may want to stack your body just a little bit more bone upon joint as you feel this comfortable sensation of the breath flowing through your body. Stand up a little straighter because it feels good. Stack your knee over your hip, shoulders over your hips, all up, beautiful, comfortable, so that you just hang off of this beautiful structure of your body, comfortable. Okay, let's get started. A new adventure. So I'm going to be referring to the recipe from time to time. You see me looking over here off screen. That's what's happening. So we're going to start with chicken. We are making koftas, which are like little torpedo-shaped meatballs. I think I've made koftas before. It's really just this sort of shape. But I've never made this recipe before. And so I'm going to just chop up these chicken thighs a little bit, and then I'm going to blitz them in my high-power blender, or food processor would be probably better, but I only have a high-power blender, so that's what I'm using. Let's hope it works out. I think it will be just fine. I haven't been eating, if you've been here for a little while, you know I haven't really been eating a lot of meat and sharing a lot of meat-based recipes lately. But I do on occasion eat meat. And I felt called to give this recipe a try for some reason. Okay. Wash my hands. Let's remove the sugar over here. Need that for the rub, which we'll make after this. Of course, when we are handling raw chicken, we do want to be very clean. Slice, slice, slice. I'm remembering teaching teenagers some cooking recently and how sensitive they were to certain things, certain textures and sounds. And I think we all are, actually. I think it's not a kid thing. But maybe as we grow up, we don't talk about it as much, or we might avoid it. We go, oh, it's too gross for me. I'm just not going to do it. I think a lot of people are a little sensitive to some of the sounds and the textures of preparing raw meat. And I just want to say, I think that's okay. And you can do it. You are a little sensitive. That's okay. And if you want to prepare meat, you can do it. I know you can. And if it doesn't matter to you, and that's something where you're going, you know what, I'm just going to eat it when I'm out, or when other people make it, or, actually this is telling me I just don't want this in my diet. This is not something I feel comfortable or good about. And listen to that, right? That's the beauty of this practice, actually, is we are always listening to our inner guidance, ourselves. We're learning to do that through our senses. So you can get a lot of information by listening that way. And so I hope this won't take, longer than an hour. I believe the timing of the recipe says it takes about 55 minutes. And I'm not going to, as you know, I'm not one to rush. So I'm not going to be going overly quickly. But I hope that we shouldn't go way over our usual time together of about an hour. The recipe calls for cutting this up into, like they said, 2 to 3 centimeter pieces. It's a British recipe, so It uses centimeters and grams and all that stuff, which is okay for me because I'm Canadian and I'm used to it. And I can do both and we can convert. We can figure these things out. Okay, almost done here. Okay, and I guess I didn't tell you, like, I don't exactly find the preparation of chicken to be like pleasurable in any way. It doesn't really bother me. And there's something about, there's this gooshy sound, which is, I think, we'd immediately kind of think, ooh, it's a bit gross. But I try to sort of not name it as gross and just think about it as like, that's a sound that's happening. It's fine. It doesn't really bother me. I'm going to just put this in the sink here and I will clean it in a moment. So that I can cut some other things on this board right away. Wonderful thing about using a wooden cutting block like this is that, how do I say this? Wooden cutting blocks are, I'm forgetting the word for it, but they're sanitary. The wood helps get rid of any sort of bacteria. That's why butcher block is made out of wood. And so do a quick clean off, but don't need to worry. I think a lot of people were, oh my gosh, the juices are like stuck in there. It's not a problem. All right. So now we're going to really blend this up over here. Pardon, I have my back to you for a moment. So I have my blender, and I'm going to do half, maybe a little more of this chicken. See how that goes. Oh wow, okay. That's working very well. So I'm just going to put the rest in, do it all together because I sort of thought I needed to do it in batches because I wasn't sure how well this was going to work, but whew, it is a powerful blender. I appreciate that. Okay. I'm going to kind of try to mix this in. Alrighty. Sorry if that scared you folks. I did a slightly silly thing there, but all is well, I believe. Not quite. So I have a couple of chunks that are not done. I think it was smart of me to think about doing them in batches. I'm just bringing this over here to take a look. Yeah, we'll just do a little bit more work there. Blend it till it's like complete mush. That feels wrong. And I have my big bowl right here. And I'm going to put all of this into this bowl. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, that was a mishap. Okay, chalk that up to real mishap. I broke the little smusher. I have a piece of that in there. So, well, there you go. First mishap of this recipe. Oh well. I think we'll probably, I can replace this if it's an issue, or I will simply use it. There we go. Oh my goodness. I think it probably is a lot easier to use a food processor because it's really hard to get all of this chicken that's like around them. I'm gonna take some deep breaths because this is irritating me that it is taking so long to get this out. So, deep breaths. It's okay. This is not my favorite experience of cooking. Getting the last bit of chicken goo out of the blender. I'm doing it. Okay. Good. Clean that up a little later. Now on to the next bit. We are going to grate, it says half an onion, and like I said, I don't have half an onion, so I'm going to use a couple of these lovely friends to chop and get rid of the outside. Great. Okay. That's not where it's supposed to be. You know what? This is not working very well for this. So I'm going to try a different method. Oh, that's my rice, which I cooked earlier, which I'll turn off. Oh, I'm actually going to turn the oven. Oops, not bake time, rather. Bake to 475. Which is a very hot oven, indeed. Okay, so that method is not working for these scallions, so I am going to just do a really fine chop on this instead. Which is okay. As you can see, this really is an adventure. I am not, nor have I ever claimed to be perfect in the kitchen. I am very experienced and I know how to move through things. And And I want you to be able to move through things too, because it's normal to move through things, and it's normal to. Sorry about that, everybody. Garlic cloves and some parsley and the zest of a lemon. Okay. I am going to try to hurry this along a bit because I don't want us to be here absolutely all day. You know, usually I don't mind that, as you know. So we're going to be zesting lemon. Loving the aroma as always. Taking some deep breaths of the smell. And again, just regulating myself that I am feeling a little rushed. A little bit like this is not the easiest thing, you know, to teach a class and show how this all works and at the same time be doing something for the first time. It's not that easy. I would never want you to think that I find it so easy. It's just that it doesn't need to be like, it's like, it doesn't matter that it's not easy, right? You don't need to feel bad about something being more challenging. Sometimes we want a challenge. I think that's maybe when we reach for a new recipe, we want to try something new. And that sort of motivates us along, right? And then within that, we must have, or I must have anyhow, compassion for ourselves and what that looks like when we try something new. And right now I'm trying a new recipe and teaching in a new way with you all, doing it in this way. And that could extend to trying something new at work, a new challenge, a new hobby, showing your child something new. And I'm going to do a little bit of the parsley. And just call that, what do they call for? 5 to 6 tablespoons. That's probably not that much. Let's do that much. Okay. And I'm sure we must have salt and pepper in here. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Salt, pepper. 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Lots of pepper because I want to. And a tablespoon of olive oil. Now, it says, of course, that you can use gloves. But actually, you know what? I think I'm going to set this aside quickly and make the rub right now so we can immediately do the rub. So the rub is basically scrunch up a bunch of stuff. We need 2 tablespoons of coffee. I have not been drinking coffee, so I just bought some beans and they weren't already ground. So I'm going to grind them in this mortar and pestle. Along with everything else. I use chili flakes because I don't have the cascabel chili. Just 1 tablespoon. Probably about right. Smoked paprika. 1.5 teaspoon, or no. 1 teaspoon, okay. A little more. Cumin. 1.5 teaspoons. Okay. that. Great. And then a bit of brown sugar, which I don't have. So I'm going to use white sugar and a little bit of molasses. I'm not going to add in the molasses quite yet. I'll do that at the end after I grind this all up. Okay. Oh, it smells magnificent. You could do this in a spice blender or a coffee grinder or food processor or whatever. As you saw, the chicken, I'm not going to clean out the chicken situation quite yet, so I'm just going to do this with my mortar and pestle. It smells so good, you guys. Well, that's very motivating. Oh, my oven's ready. Just how wonderful it smells. So fun. Okay, my computer keeps wanting to turn off naturally. Okay. Whew. Okay, and then we need salt in here as well. Half a teaspoon, he says. So I'm going to just guess at that. There we go. And add a tiny bit of molasses. In order to create that brown sugar flavor. Just add a little bit more moisture to everything. That toasty smell and flavor. Okay, that's great. I think we're doing okay here. I'll set that aside. And so he says to take about 2/3 of it and place it on a baking sheet. So I'm going to do just that. Keep half of it aside. Sprinkle on top afterwards. So there we go. Now, to make these, knead everything up. Oh, it smells so nice. Like bruschetta with the tomato and the parsley and the onion. So there's usually basil, but wow. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. So I think this is probably supposed to make about 10 to 12, I believe he said, 55 grams each, 500 grams. So maybe 9 or so. I'm going to sort of go for a dozen. So 6. Okay. So it says to grill them in 2 batches for 90 seconds each. I'm going to keep the camera where it is rather than try to bring it all the way over here. I hope that's okay with you all. Okay. And then we're going to grill these. Actually, no, I should bring the camera over, shouldn't I? So that you can see. Certainly want you to be able to experience this whole process. Okay. So there we go. Hello again. gonna get this nice and hot. And I expect we're supposed to put some oil in there, but let me find out for sure. Great. Yes, okay. I'll get this stuff out of the way. I'll rub the stuff. And so it says to drizzle the kofta with oil, but I'm just gonna put it in the pan for simplicity. Nice and hot. Oh, maybe wait till we have sizzling over there. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to just strip these onions. See, I can still do things quickly. Oh, okay, we have sizzling, never mind. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This like very messy one over here, very wet one. 6. This is 90 seconds or so aside, so I'll listen to that wisdom. We're not trying to cook these through. We're just cooking them. Then we're going to place them back in here and put them in the oven. Sort of the next step. So to move my rice aside. So these ones I put in a little earlier, so I'm going to flip it. Okay. Okay. Kind of a weird angle here. I'm going to just prepare these onions because we're going to grill these onions now. To have alongside our koftas. And I'm also serving it with rice. I think pita would be amazing as well. Or any number of, you could have quinoa, something like that. Just a little something for all the flavor to fall into. Got a little bit of yuck on that, so moving that out of the way. Getting all the peel off. As you can see, I'm a little more hurried because I am trying to get this done for you all. Okay, so we're just gonna make big rings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I don't think well, no, I'm going to do it all. It's like, I don't want all this much onion, but I'm going to just do what the recipe says. Okay. Bring this over. I'm going to turn the heat back up. I think I'm just going to need to check the recipe quickly to see what it says about the olive oil. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So with this, some salt and pepper and olive oil. And toss salt all over. Oh, I'm sorry. Silly me. It's not so easy to do this, you guys. I have to be Bring the camera around. It's a lot. Okay. Okay. Let these grill. Goodness. I'm going to get another bowl. It says when these are done, we want to toss them in a bowl with parsley and lemon juice. So let's get that prepped here too. Or not parsley, with mint, but I forgot the mint, so we're doing parsley. And parsley is wonderful, so no harm. So it says it wants to serve this with some lemon wedges to squeeze over everything, so I'm going to leave these 2 lemon wedges over here and put the lemon juice in this bowl.